Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a mullet. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast.
That's right.
All right, I am Phil. Unfortunately, Justin could not be with us tonight, but my main man, Mr. Number One Superman fan, it is
Mr. Tyler Patrick.
Mr. Alright, kids. So yes, we're going to cover 3 this time. Adventures of Superman Annual 1 and Action Comics 592 and 593.
Which is awesome.
The infamous 592.
This was an interesting read that I had to explain to Genia what exactly was going on.
What, the Action Comics?
She was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, John Byrne was a thirsty dude.
Oh yeah, you should read some of his She-Hulk stuff. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Alright, so I don't know, we could start either way, because the annual has nothing to do with the Action Comics and vice versa, so
I want to point out here that I picked up my my mullet Superman figure.
Oh, nice.
I love it, because like he's all thick, right?
Yeah.
But then on like the back, his mullet after he defeated Doomsday, he's all like super thin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nothing like Death in Return to help you lose weight.
Yeah, it's part of that line, but it doesn't really look like the Death of Superman figure. But whatever.
Again, I guess different artist or different skull. I don't know.
It's any more of the most of the McFarlane Supermans. I feel like they're just repainting the same figures. Maybe they make a new head mold, and then they just mix and match like different parts, and then paint it slightly differently. And they're like, new figure.
Oh yeah,
we'll make these dumbasses buy it again.
And I think they try to alter like the styles, based on like, oh, we're gonna make a figure out of this guy's art or this one's art.
Well, they should do that more, but
yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm not doing it enough.
All right, so should we get to these issues?
Let's do it.
All right, so so where should we start? The annual or the Action?
Yeah, let's do the annual first.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's kind of the order I read it in. All right.
So I got it right here.
Oh no, not that annual. We got another annual tonight.
Oh, which one?
The Adventures of Superman annual. Oh, that one.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I grabbed the one off the shelf. I was excited to do that one.
Nah, that's next episode.
Yeah, I got excited. Hold on.
Well, yeah, of course you're going to get excited. I mean, spoilers for next week, kids. I mean, Batman's on that cover.
Batman, my favorite character.
All right. Go to that wonderful thing called the app.
Yes. DC Universe Infinite, kids, yes. How about they paying us money for mentioning you every episode, guys. All right. All
right. It's loading.
I was pulling up the synopsis, and I thought I had read this. This was newer for me, but I do remember this villain that will reappear at least one more time, and I remember reading that one. But yeah, that's so weird, because it's like Adventures of Superman Annual 1 is on the app, Action Comics Annual 1 is not on the app, so
it really makes you wonder.
I know.
All right, it's loaded.
All right.
Hell below.
The annual the app wasn't pulling it up because I didn't put annual in. All right. Let's do the synopsis here. Adventures of Superman Annual number 1 from September 1987. The Union. We're not talking about jobs, kids. Writer, a man who's created a few characters you may have heard of, such as Thanos, and I believe he created Drax the Destroyer. Adam, was he Adam Warlock? I forget, but Jim Starlin, penciler Dan Jurgens, inker Steve Montano, colorist Tom Zayuko, letterer John Costanza, and editors Mike Carlin. Superman is sent to Trudeau, South Dakota by the president to investigate the mysterious disappearance of all its citizens. Superman is unable to detect even the smallest forms of life in the town until a giant, gelatinous blob emerges from the sewers and attempts to subdue him. Easily defeated, the blob quickly retreats to the sewers as Superman attempts to follow. While in the sewers, Superman is attacked by the sewer pipes and allows himself to be captured in order to discover who is behind all these strange occurrences in this town. Dragged far below the surface by the sewer pipe, Superman is brought before the alien Wordbringer. The Wordbringer admits to killing all the inhabitants of Trudeau in order to release them from their doomed sacks of flesh and granted them union, creating a hive mind and granting himself great telekinetic powers. Unimpressed, Superman battles the Wordbringer, but the alien manages to escape when he realizes he cannot defeat an angered Superman. And that's where the synopsis ends, but I mean, I thought the heavy end, they didn't even mention the heavy ending.
I just, I like that this is Dan Jurgens' art.
Yeah.
But it looks like Dan Jurgens, but it's
like early Dan Jurgens. Yeah, I think maybe it's just because it's a different inker. Yeah.
Before, like, even just some of the details before, like, we really get that, Dan Jurgens Superman.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very early Dan Jurgens, and it's a different inker and stuff. But yeah, so what did you think of this?
Sometimes annuals can be some of the most fun to read, because they're usually kind of like one and done stories.
Yeah.
So I thought this was really good. Some of these that we've read, I could see being animated episodes. Mm-hmm. And this is one I think would be really interesting to do.
Yeah, except for maybe that ending, because, kids, the brain, yes, he's taken every citizen's brain and, created like this collective. It's almost like they're almost in this machine.
Yeah, it's like Brainiac, but he collects brains.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll see him one more time, but no, the bodies, all their bodies are gone. They were used to create this giant creature, and then they're just like, we don't want to live like this, so they basically use their telekinetic force of mind to make Superman pull the switch that'll like kill them.
And that's heavy.
When
you see him go down to like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name, the Worldbringer.
I know, yeah, it's just like this seems like a bunch of consonants, yeah.
The world to the unlightened. What is the word? The word is union. It kind of reminds me, actually, in a way, of that Superman the Animated Series episode with Farmer Brown.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, he sees the machine and like he pulls out a brain. It's got electrodes in it, and then
oh yeah, they're all in like these little glass tubes. Yeah, they just like pop out of this thing. Yeah.
He's like, "What did you do with their bodies?" He says, "This is my manifestation. It is a physical extension of my holy power. Those who join the union no longer have any need for the fleshy vessels."
Yeah, because he says he can't just create raw matter. So yes, he used the bodies of all everyone in this town. Is like over 2,000 people.
So he calls it the manifestation.
This app's getting on my nerves.
Okay, it's not as bad as how I'll pull up a book and it's just like, I'll be like, hey, you guys pull this up? And you're like, yeah. But on mine, it just keeps popping up Alfred saying, retry.
Well, sometimes I'll be reading a story and all of a sudden it'll go back to the beginning and I gotta like flip back to where I was at.
I mean, this is heavy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't use this guy more. Like I said, he'll show up one more time, but I guess it's Starlin, so it's something different. But yeah.
He says there's only one thing for us: death. There is only one option open to us: death.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be like, I don't know, you probably go nuts. I mean, without a body and you're just, all these minds are linked together.
Mm-hmm. He says, it's against everything I believe in. I'm sorry. He said, so are we.
Yeah, they kind of just force him to,
Force him to pull the switch. And he says, it's been quite a day. You saved mankind. You beat the bad guy. You helped some good people get what they really wanted. And now you stand alone amidst the ashes of victory.
Yeah, that's some Starlin writing.
That's good stuff, but like, it's dark.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this was a villain that would come out today. Like, more so, because it seems like comics have gotten, a lot of these villains have gotten darker and darker and darker. I just feel like this would be one that nowadays we would get.
Yeah, it feels like it because, like I know I always say, like, it's kind of like, around like the turn of the century, like, comics started adding body counts, like, heroes weren't, automatically just saving anyone anymore. You could blow up a whole town or something, or.
I mean, it's heavy. I like it, but it's heavy.
Mm-hmm. And there wasn't like, it was an annual, so it was longer, but there wasn't like a lot. There was no, you don't see him as Clark in this at all. And you really don't see the, Lois or anyone or any supporting cast. It's just straight that, the president see the town, the president calls him in, and that's about it. He starts investigating, and there's like nothing in town. There's not even animals, nothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't say it, but do you think like he took the animal brains too? Like, I don't remember if seeing it in there.
I mean, either that or he just used them for the raw material for that blob creature, maybe.
Maybe. But it's so interesting when you go back. Oh, excuse me. When you go back to the first page and it's the town and you see people and then you see like this green stuff coming out of the sewer, it's just interesting because like we know what's about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's dang you, team of comic book creators.
It's good, but yeah, like you say, it's just like a heavy story.
Can only take so much.
Yeah. All right.
And I mean, it's not like it's a very quiet story in a way because it's, after Superman leaves the White House, it's him pretty much talking to himself until he interacts with the guy.
Yeah, like inner monologue and stuff, and it's just like talking. Yeah. Yeah,
and then
it's real quiet, until he gets to the word bringer,
And then it's fight, and that's it.
I mean, I'm sure it's intentional, but it almost seems like a Twilight Zone episode.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would make sense.
Like a really dark Twilight Zone. Alright. Sorry, now I gotta re-log into the app. Alright. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a pretty straightforward. Well, it's a heavy story, but it's like a pretty straightforward story.
Yeah, it's definitely a story for Superman where you feel like you're kind of aging up with the character in a sense.
Yeah, I think that was like the whole. It seemed like that was like the whole point of like everything. Like immediately after post crisis, they were kind of trying to make it more mature and sophisticated. All this stuff, and almost and as we said before, like more realistic because we really powered down a lot of people, like Superman and the Flash.
Yeah, let's make it more realistic by powering down the guy who can fly and has X-ray vision.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I know.
But yeah, like there's an ongoing joke about Superman and Justice League cartoon with George Newbern. How he said like there's always one episode. He's like, I'm getting electrocuted like in every episode. So there's always some jokes to be made.
Well, again, I mean, that's always like the nature of it. I mean, even back to George Reeves, where it's just like the guys try to shoot him, it don't work, so they whip the gun at him. Like that's gonna work.
I mean, it's like one of my favorite moments in Supergirl TV series, season 2, episode 1, where Superman's there with her, and like they get shot at, and then the guy comes up to punch him, and he's like, "I never get the punching. I don't get it. If the bullets didn't work, why?" So I always think it's fun.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just like for that first page, like all you see, like to start it off, is like these like 2 green tentacles coming out of the sewer. That's
Yep.
And then next thing you know, it's you're at the White House, and they've called Superman. Well, again, it's 1987, so Ronald Reagan is called Superman.
How do you feel about using like the real presidents or whatever, or like political figures in the comic?
It dates it, because I know they even did that on Marvel. There was at least one Captain America where it was yes, very blatantly Ronald Reagan. It was just like, ugh.
I'm not a fan. Like
again, it dates it.
It dates it. It's supposed to exist in this like alternate world, and I think only time I think like they should use the real people is like if it's relevant to the story, like in Watchmen,
mm-hmm.
when it's an alternate history.
Yeah.
So I just,
or even if they just like subtly hint at it, because there was like a Captain America story in the 70s where like he unmasked like the head of this big criminal organization who had run into the Oval Office, and they don't say it's Nixon, but they very strongly hint that it's just like, oh, a very high-ranking public official was the head of this organization. So it was around the time of Watergate, so they're just like, yeah, they're hinting that it's Nixon.
Yeah, I just, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, again, it dates stuff, and like if your kids read something, it's probably going to go over their heads, but it's just like, yeah, oh man, this thing's old.
Sayla caught me reading like some of the older stuff, and she's like, "Why does it look like this?
What,
why is it like the art, like the way it's printed on newspaper?"
Oh yeah,
I was trying to explain to her, and so.
See, that makes it more valuable because the more the paper can get in the grade, the more valuable it is.
I've said that multiple times on here. Like, if they want it with them selling the app so hard, and they want to make comics, like reduce their cost in comics.
Oh yeah.
Go back to printing on newspaper.
Yeah. It
makes the books, or if you want, do your standard covers on newspaper, and then if you want to print your alternative covers on the higher gloss and let people pay the difference.
Yeah.
Do that. But yeah, seriously, like let's do something to like reduce the cost of books, because right now I'm not buying any books because it's too far for me to like drive.
No, I know. Yeah. They're expensive.
And they're just expensive when I can just pay for the app.
Well, then on all the sides, they always wonder why business is dying. Once, like, I think you're pricing yourself out of the,
Yeah, when you have a product that you're trying to sell and you're making it so that you're pushing me to constantly buy more, eventually I'm going to be at a point where I don't want to buy it, or I'm going to buy less, or I'm just going to stop.
Or there's just going to come to a point where people just can't afford to buy, maybe someone was buying 10 of your books, now they're buying 2 of your books.
Yeah. And, for example, the new Batman Echoes, 89 Batman Echoes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to wait for trade. Same thing with the Metal Curtain. I'm just going to buy the trade.
I can see that. Oh, yeah, especially stuff like that. It's like a limited series. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I've done that too. It's like, I'll just wait for the trade.
Because it's cheaper, and I can sit down and read the whole story and not be getting. Because that was part of my problem with Superman 78. Was it was all spaced out. So I was like, I don't. Excuse me. I didn't really like feeling like I wasn't really. It was written to be just read together.
Oh yeah. And I think they were trying originally to get people to jump to digital more and more. But the rumor I heard is like, I don't think digital's took off like they wanted it to. So
I don't know. I honestly don't know, just because I know so many of my friends that we're all at the same point where we're like, we'll just read the app.
Yeah. Yeah. Price wise, it's good. But again, I don't know. I'm always, I'm about physical media and everything. It's just because it's just like they can pull the plug on you at any moment. Then, you have nothing.
But the thing with books, though, at least, I have libraries. I can go get books to read, because my problem is how many times do you pull an individual issue out, Phil, and reread your comics? Or do you go to your trades first when you reread old comics?
I mean, I'd say the majority of my stuff is more, single issues than trades, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is majority of my stuff is single issues, and I have them all in short boxes, but I don't dig them out and reread them. I think the last time I did a major single issue reread was in 2020 when I reread all of Rebirth. But then the app came, and I started just doing...
yeah, like just lazy and just not take the time to dig them out. Yeah, if it's on the app, I'll do it. But it's like DC and Marvel. It's like I'll go look for stuff and it's not on the app, and I'm just like, you want people to buy this thing, trying to make it a little more complete.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think the longest runs I do now is like if I go buy back issues. Yeah, I'll just get like a stack of back issues and read them.
All right, let's do the fun books.
Oh boy, the burn books. Okay. All right. So yes, kids, it's time for that infamous two-parter. Action Comics 592. Oh, this is a full. Yeah. All right. So here's the burn stuff, kids. All right. Action Comics 592 from September 1987. A Walk on the Darkseid. Writer, penciler, one of your inkers, John Byrne. Your other inker, Keith Williams. Oh, Keith Williams. Okay. Colorist, Tom Zayuko, letterer John Costanza, and editor Mike Carlin and Andrew Helfer. Big Barda is in the slums of Metropolis. She sees a man shaking down a prostitute and throws the man in a dumpster. Just then, a purse snatcher grabs her purse and flees, but Barda gives chase. An apocalyptic ash crawler steals the purse from the snatcher and leaves. The snatcher enters the sewers and gives the bag to the disgusting Sleez. That's right, kids. Sleez. Sleez finds the Mega Rod, and when Barda comes looking, blasts her into unconsciousness with it. Meanwhile, Superman picks up an energy source and traces it. 2 days later, in the sewers, Sleez is holding Barda captive in his underground lair and putting her through nightmarish, horrible things while he films it all. Wow.
I'm just saying that Barda's not the only one carrying around a massive rod.
Wow!
Like,
I mean, she's basically dancing in it almost looks like big strips of whatever. Yeah. While Sleez makes Barda dance, he explains his origin, how he got to Earth because Darkseid deemed him too disgusting for Apocalypse. Barda, who is just too tired from everything Sleez has put her through, falls to the floor. Sleez approaches her and firmly grips her face in his hand while telling her that no one shall stand against him. Barda looks at him and says, "No, please, not again." Just then, Superman arrives just in time and tosses Sleez into a wall. Superman asks who she is, and she introduces herself. Barda then grabs the Mega Rod and attacks Superman, claiming that she believes Superman is just another part in Sleez's plan to break her. But none shall break Barda. But before she can kill Superman, Sleez still steals the Mega Rod from her again. Sleez then puts Barda and Superman under his hypnotic control. All right, so thoughts?
Well, first of all, very important line in this issue is, I'm pulling it up right now, Barda, the wife of Scott Free, Mr. Miracle? Just want to highlight the wife of.
Oh, yes. Again, I just think, that's a good narrative. So it's like, oh, you don't know who Big Barda is? Oh, here we go.
And I think Sleez is just, first of all, him coming from Apocalypse is a little too convenient.
Yeah.
Him being too gross for Darkseid, a little too convenient. Why didn't Darkseid just kill him?
I know. Yeah, here's always like, why didn't he just well, I guess he thought of fate worse than death, sending him to Earth.
I mean, the fact that he is like the sleaziest dude ever, and like his name is Sleez. But I find just this whole thing with Clark visiting the hospital. Mm-hmm. I feel like this was just inserted in here, and it doesn't really pay off the way I think they want it to.
Yeah, I mean, again, is it just like a plot device to say, okay, here's this strange radiation, let's keep making some people live longer.
But I mean, that means that Sleez has been there for how long? in just that one spot. I don't know. I think it was too much of a stretch. Like, if you ditch that part of the story, you don't lose anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barda getting tricked by him, him being like submissive to Barda, or getting Barda to be submissive to him, and then her automatically thinking Superman is Sleez is on his control was a big mistake. And of course, you know, this whole, and then he has both of them in his pit.
They just fall down that pit.
Also, she's in Suicide Slums, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And they talk about how horrible Suicide Slums is. Like, it's like, I tried to stop this as Clark Kent. I tried to do this even as Superman, and I couldn't make it work. It's the worst of the worst of the worst. And he gives the math of how much of a fraction it is. But I'm just like, holy cow! Like, they're talking about Suicide Slums like being part of Apocalypse. I'm like, if it was that bad, like, you should have done more, Soups. Like,
yeah, it's so weird because it's like Metropolis, unlike Gotham, is supposed to be like this shiny, bright city. I mean, I know it's a big city, but again, it's just like, oh yeah, this, like, what does he say? It's like 10 blocks or something. So it's like, oh yeah, this little patch is just the worst of the worst. You know, everything else is nice, but except this little 10 blocks here. And
you're trying to tell me this little 10 blocks is worse than Gotham and Bloodhaven?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I feel like, did the purse snatch dude die? Did, like, Sleez kill him?
I think he might. Well, they show him hanging upside down. Is he like? I mean, his eyes are open. Does it look like he's? Does it look like he's dead? Like his eyes are like bulging outside in it.
Yeah, I got a little girl sneaking down here and should be in bed.
So, yeah, it's just so weird. Just because, Clark Kent meets this old woman, Molly, who was born in 1866. She's 121 years old. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's to track the radiation, and so the radiation's keeping these people old, but shouldn't it, I don't know, whatever Sleez does to people make them, like, die quicker and not live longer? I don't know. I would have thought it'd be something like that. You're muted.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I don't know what has happened. Like, hold on a second. Like, you got kicked out. Like it cut my microphone off.
Huh.
And like my speakers, like, you're now on my computer speakers instead of my headphones.
Huh.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Me and technology are not having a good time. But anyways, yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah. And again, Sleez wouldn't have been able to pull off any of this if he hadn't got his hands on that Mega Rod.
It just kind of makes you wonder, right?
Yeah. And I guess we have to have Barda kind of blast Superman and kind of knock him out just enough that he can't fly out of that pit.
Just enough to knock him out so that Sleez can trick Superman into, using his powers against him.
But I know he pulls that off. He pulls that rod off her twice. I mean, I don't know if it's just. I mean, Byrne's art is always Byrne's art. It looks good, but like, especially like Barda. I don't know if it's because it is a Jack Kirby character, but in some panels I think she looks like almost like Kirby-ish. But unless that's just me associating her costume with Kirby art.
I told Jania the history of Barda, like where she came from, and so of course I always go back to like Playboy and nudity. I was like, those men back in the day.
Yeah, well, it's like Jack Kirby kind of tried to have his it both ways because he did the New Gods for DC and then he did the Eternals for Marvel. I don't know. I'm never the hugest fan of either one, so I'm just like, I mean, there are some stories I'm like, oh, that's good. Like that Tom King Mr. Miracle series, that was good. I knew that was good when I gave a crap. All right. All right, should we get to the next issue?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, that way we can talk about this whole thing.
Because this is where everything comes.
Oh yeah,
full.
Those infamous panels, kids. Yeah, this is the issue they come from. All right, so Action Comics 593 from October 1987, The Suicide Snare. All by the same team. Mr. Miracle and Oberon come home to find Darkseid sitting in the living room. He tells them that Big Barda is not home. When Miracle demands answers, Darkseid gives them a videotape. Another thing that ages these issues. Videotape.
It's weird. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Scott and Oberon watch the videotape, and this is implied. The screen is never actually shown, and are horrified. The adult videotape most likely contains a video of Big Barda being forced to dance in her outfit and pleasure Sleez. Darkseid tells them that his agents intercepted this tape at a store that specializes in the fare, an adult film store. Scott immediately leaves to search for Barda. Oh my god, can you imagine if you're in a video store, even like a dirty one, and Darkseid or some, it was minions just like walking.
I mean, Sleez is not the most normal looking person, and they really play it off like when he comes in. Let's see.
Oh yeah, when he's like with that producer guy or whatever. Yeah, he's like,
yep.
I guess the guy's like, I don't care, I'm making money.
I mean, he looks shady.
I know.
He brings in Superman.
Oh yeah, you know what Byrne does is Byrne's the kind. I don't know. He kind of likes this kind of story because like there was an issue of Fantastic Four where some guy, She-Hulk, was like sunbathing on the roof of the Fantastic Four's headquarters, and some guy got pictures of it, or it's just.
It was the 80s, dude.
I know, man. Byrne liked this stuff. Meanwhile, Sleez shows the mind-controlled Barda and Superman to an adult film director, Grossman, and tells Grossman to make an adult film with Barda and Superman. When Grossman inquires, Sleez tells him that the film will make Sleez enough money to raise an army to get revenge on Dark. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that works. So,
after getting beat up by a gang of hobos, Scott finds the studio and watches through the skylight as the movie is being filmed. We then cut inside where a steamy romance scene with Barda and Superman in bed is being filmed. Grossman cuts and says that he wants passion and raw, seething emotion. Grossman says that Superman's got all the sex appeal of a side of beef. Sleez, meanwhile, finds that Superman is fighting his mind control. He continues to make Barda and Superman interact on the bed so that he may have a feast of emotion when he brings out Superman's inner depravity. Mr. Miracle, who can't take any more, crashes through the skylight just as Superman and Barda passionately kiss. Barda and Superman are then broken from Sleez's control. Sleez flees and sicks his ash crawler on Scott and Barda. Barda kills it, and Superman chases Sleez into the sewers. Sleez strikes a match from his pocket and apparently blows himself up, leaving behind a very bewildered Superman. Superman and Barda later decide not to try and recall what happened to them while Sleez was controlling them. The three then awkwardly part ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like Justin, made the comment about the Superman's lost child on Apocalypse, there might be a child that's out there that's part Superman, part Big Barda.
Oh yeah, in this era, man, Superman would have a lot of illegitimate kids running around.
This could be kind of like a Damian Wayne type thing for Superman, like his lost child with Barda shows up. So just saying, John Byrne, you thirsty old dog, you.
Oh my. Okay. I was trying to remember if Sleez comes back. Oh yes, he will be back in Superman Annual 2. So.
Oh, good. Can't wait to see more Sleez.
I know.
But okay, so panel-wise, the opening page of Darkseid just sitting there chilling is hilarious.
I know. That's what I was going to say. Just the image of him sitting in a living room, just it's like, hey, look what I rented.
Yeah. Hey guys, by the way, I stopped at the video store and I only put this in. And then I like the panels of like where it's like Scott's face, word Oberon, and then you go just how they evolve, and then we see Grossman. Come on, Grossman.
Yeah, I know.
And Sleez. And the favorite line is hold on, where is it? Hold on.
But yeah, like you were saying before, it's like nobody bats an eye at Sleez. It's like he's this short little like lizard-looking guy.
Yeah. He says, any co-star is going to wind up looking like my desk.
Oh, yeah, because he has Superman break the desk to prove he's the real Superman.
And he's like, you forget, Grossman, I have already acquired the perfect co-star for the Man of Steel, the one and only Big Barda.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to take like a little bit of time here to kind of retell, Mr. Miracle's story for like 2 pages.
Oh, yeah.
And then, he gets jumped by some thugs, but yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird because, like, we know he's a master escape artist, but, like, they just, like, throw him in like a dumpster and, like, weld it shut. And, like, throw him in the river. And then the next page, like, he's already out, like, running across the rooftops.
I thought I missed something. Like,
I know, me too.
I kept going back and looking, and I'm like, okay, did I miss something? And I was like, all right. I kept reading it, and, like, he's like, I want raw, seething emotion. And I love that Superman's resisting.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like they say. It's like you really can't hypnotize someone to do something they wouldn't really do. And
then I love the shot of Mr. Miracle busting through. And then the giant squid-looking monster thing, the just mass tissue that came out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Lots of squid, like, tentacle creatures this episode.
And then, Barda kills it. And he said, the panel that gets me right here is the one that says, where it's Barda and Superman looking at each other,
mm-hmm.
and then Scott's in the background in the center, just kind of like looking at them both, pissed. Like,
when they say, "Oh, maybe it's better we don't remember what happened." It's like, okay, is that really what happened, or are they just for the sake of Scott just saying, "Oh, we don't remember what happened"?
That's the thing that's interesting is it's all about alluding to things.
Yeah,
like the video that he originally watched, was it Barda dancing? Was it Barda and Superman? Because he's like really upset. And then the way they're talking, like something happened. Well, all we saw were they kissed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
well, they even said it might even be Sleez might have had her done something to him. But they don't show the screen. So
I mean this is like some Me Too stuff right here. Like this would not pass today.
Oh, yeah, again, I mean, we kind of gloss over it like we do a lot of times. This happens in comics, but she's pretty much been raped. I mean, if Sleez did anything to her, she's pretty much been raped.
Yeah, and it's horrible. Like, it's Big Barda though. Like, not that anybody needs that or anything, but like, you just took a very powerful, strong female character and you brought her down as if she's nothing. And I don't know, like, in just the regular comics, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times do we like even, I don't know, like this happens and it's like, oh, we got to think of what's the worst thing that could possibly happen to make our emotional punch work. And they want to do that. And I'm like, do we really need that to make our story work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause you're real, it's almost like fridging.
I mean, I get, we're trying to show Sleez is the worst of the worst. And I think they even say in here, it's just like, why did Darkseid give Mr. Miracle the tape? Oh, it's just, he wanted them to do his dirty work and get rid of Sleez. So
yeah. So I mean,
it's funny just because you get that. I mean, that shot in the beginning of him sitting in the living room there. Is he drinking like wine or something? Because he's sitting there holding in that easy chair, like holding a glass of something. I'm like, that's funny. Just Darkseid just sitting there like drinking like wine or something. And again, holding a videotape. But yeah, kids, I mean, this one, I see every couple months, I swear, this makes someone's list of, the most cringeworthy comics or something.
I mean, it should.
Oh, yeah. And you were saying about Sleez being from Apocalypse. I guess that kind of makes sense, too, just because it's like, just not anybody could brainwash Barda or Superman, so.
Yeah, I mean... But I don't know. It's just like, he happens to stop a purse snatcher that happens to have the apocalyptic tech.
Yeah. And it's like Superman or no one else has come across Sleez in the last. I mean, because they said he's been on Earth for a while. What, like?
Yeah, they said millennia. I thought.
Yeah.
It'd been. I don't know. I think it'd be more interesting if Sleez had kind of been sleazy, but not in an obvious way. Like, and he's kind of like this. He's been around, kind of influencing people.
Or they showed like he was like rich or something, but it's because he had like swindled people this whole time, or
like he had been like influenced people actually breeding the Sleez, or he was part of the reason why why Suicide Slums was Suicide Slums.
I mean, maybe you could say he was, but then it's like,
I don't know. It just makes it more intricate to the story.
Yeah.
And I feel like it gives him more of a purpose.
But then I guess, but Suicide's slum keeps going after he's gone, though.
So
I forgot. Yeah, they do explain later. Mr. Miracle says how he cut out the bond from the bottom of the dumpster, but
yeah, I know. I was just so.
But it's so weird because it's like, yeah, then Sleez tries to control Mr. Miracle when he says, you know, it's not going to work because Granny he was trained by Granny to resist all mental control. But I'm like, meanwhile, Barda and Superman can't resist. I mean, wasn't Barda one of her work? Didn't she work for Granny? I'm like, wouldn't she get the same? Oh, hey, you know, how to resist mental control and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, Barda was like the first one to get mind control.
So, yeah, very, very interesting. But
yeah, and again, they kind of like, lay the groundwork for it's like, well, because Clark's like, I thought Sleez is dead, but you know, all those people he's keeping alive are still alive. So you know, so if they're still alive, you know, does that mean he's still around?
Maybe he could be. We'll just bring him back, Phil, in our new comic written by me and you and Justin.
Exactly.
The illegitimate legacy of Superman's children.
So I was gonna say, at least, but Sleez does come back like one more time. So. Well, he comes back like soon in Superman 82, and then I think they said his next appearance like way later. I think where it looks like he gets killed is like in Countdown or something. So,
okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to definitely go search for some Sleez. No, I'm not.
Well,
just do not type Sleez in Google, kids. Don't.
I might just have to page through Countdown and make sure. Yeah, see if he's dead.
Just go see if there's a Wikipedia article.
Oh, there is. I was looking at the link here, but if I can, I always like to look at the art and be like, well, let's wonder.
There's Sleez.
Oh yeah, Countdown 46, kids.
On New Earth. And there's Sleez on Earth Prime. What? More than one of these Sleezes?
Oh man, Sleez.
It
says he can feed on the baser emotions of the average person and use that energy to bolster his own life force. So how would that keep people alive longer? Shouldn't that shorten your life?
Oh, I totally forgot. I did read him. He was in New Superman in the Justice League of China number 20.
So he does make it out of Countdown.
Yeah. So yeah, that was different. It's from Sleez from Prime Earth.
I was gonna say he probably wasn't making pornography though.
No, he was just fighting Keenan. So
yeah. Well, again, it probably wasn't written by Byrne, so it was probably a little cleaner.
So yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's So yeah, not any clean victories this time. I mean, we get the all those dead people in the town of Trudeau, and then the whole thing was Sleez.
I mean, that's a kind of a back-to-back dark. What do you call it? Just both of those were really dark. Just
oh yeah, and I mean some of these stories I guess were dark for the time because they came out. I don't know if it's like maybe not back-to-back, but pretty close to each other.
Mommy, what's Superman doing with Big Barda? Put that away, kids. Can't be reading that filth in here. It's trash.
Well, let me tell you about Mega Rods.
But yeah, both of those were just dark for different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
You're here in spirit, Justin. All right. So, anything else, Mr. Patrick, or should we?
No, I'm good to go, man.
Lay some homework on here so get out of here. All right, kids. So yes, next time we're gonna. All right, two issues. We're gonna do that Action Comics Annual 1 with Batman on the cover, and we're gonna do Superman number 11, the first post-crisis appearance of Mixie. So
nice.
So that'll be a little more lighthearted. Get some Mixie in here. And I believe I haven't reread that action in a while. I think that's Batman and Superman versus vampires. So still a little more different, some more different stuff, and we'll get a first post-crisis appearance of Mixie. So, all right. So send us your thoughts. Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, and link to the Patreon. Again, please subscribe, because I promised, and I've been delivering so far. In 2024, Lilith Hellfire is more
vicious and brutal than ever.
So find everything all in one place. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All right, this is going to be easy because we'll have Justin's 50 plugs. All right, Tyler, where else can people hear you talking more Superman?
You can find me on Krypton Report, the all Krypton-based DC podcast, on all major platforms.
I'm tired of knowing everything.
It sucks. It's a burden I carry.
Exactly, especially all things Superman.
I'm tired of knowing everything.
Excuse me.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us again. Next time, Superman number 11 and Action Comics Annual number 1. And hopefully a little more light. So maybe hopefully a little more light. At least one of them. A little more light. Again, these were heavy this time. Physical deaths, implied rape. Alright, kids. Come back! Remember, next time for truth, justice, and the bullet way.